What? Again? Like every time, without fail, y'all have a hype train going before I'm even in this. Hello, though. Hi. Mowdown Joe, thanks for the 10 months. Oh, goodness, there were the ones before you even. Brave Othello, thank you for the 12 months. 12 months, that's almost a year. Absolute. Thank you for 12 months also. The whole darn year on this purple website. It's true. Mowdown Joe at 10 months. I think I said you already. IRMX for real. What 12 months has also. It has been a whole year already. I agree it feels weird. We're all in agreement that it feels weird. I think. I assume. And Arc Flash Hazard, thank you also for the 12 months. Well, if it isn't another good Dan and maybe Carrie stream, thanks for over a year of good times. Just me tonight. Well, for now. Carrie's out tonight, so not able to join in with the chatting, but that's okay. We're only going to be here for a little while, too. For you see, we are all going to, at the stroke of 8, you know what I mean, 8 o'clock, in 20 minutes, we are going to move this party over to Dan Jones's corner of the woods. Gonna do a big raid. For at around that time, all of the Dans, me, Dan Jones, Dan Emmons, are going to play some more EDF, because it's fun. What is the subscribe sound? I believe that is one of the just sort of menu sound effects from Katamari Damacy, the Katamari games in general. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Sir Him. And also, still Octahedron. Both of you, 10 months. I'm very grateful. Thanks to all of you who have been watching on the rare occasions I get in a stream over the last year. It's been fun to do, even if I don't have tons of time to do it. Got chat to catch up on here. I imagine you've already decided on this, but are you planning on playing Sea of Stars? It's on the maybe list. I've not, I just need to actually get a minute to sit down and play a little bit of it. Because it might be that as soon as I play it, I'm immediately like, oh yes, clear my schedule, we're doing this. Or it might be that it, I suspect from the sound of things, from all the praise I'm hearing heaped upon it, it's definitely going to be something that's on the eventually list. Long though that list may be. But yeah, I need to check that one out still. That and several, there's been quite a few games that have been coming out in the last 6 months that I need to get a look at the very least. Hey, normally I can only get to watch VODs. Now that I joined the Discord, I actually get to catch up on live. Hey! Congrats on making it to one live. And such a short one, too. I guess I should go ahead and move this to just chatting, because we're going to be going from starting soon to initiating raid very quickly. Is Liza P on that list? That is one of the others that need to be investigated. Maybe? Depends on how good it is. And how long it is. Well, mostly how good it is. Game length is a concern to a degree, but we've been doing lots of long ones, so there's clearly room for long games on the channel. We could just maybe use some shorter ones for a bit. A bit, you know? A lot of long games. Elden Ring is, I think, where everything started to go downhill on the whole playthrough completion trend. Not a lot of playthroughs completed since then, which isn't to say we've been playing less. It's just that there was a lot of games from then on. 2022 was the year of Elden Ring on Playframe. And then we did God of War Ragnarok, which turns out also quite long. And then, wouldn't you know it, man, Final Fantasy 16. Long game. Why don't they make short games anymore? It's a shame there haven't been any short games in the last 2 years released that we could play on the channel. Maybe if we ask nice. Ah, Lord Triton, I almost missed you. Thank you for the 12 months. 1 year on the purple site following a Dan. And 10 months from Sig Tao, thank you. Double digits indeed. Feels good having made it a year. How short am I looking for? Really, I'm just looking, like, in the immediate, now that we've finally finished 16 on the channel, I'm just looking for some shorter ones, like 10 hours or less would be the best. And I've already got actually like a good handful of games that I've just been sitting on waiting for a long time for other games to wrap up to make room for. So we'll do some short things for a bit. I got plenty of long games I want to get to as well, but we'll wait. But yeah, you're kind of right, Luxord. The problem is that, like, as soon as one long series ends, that is always inevitably when some other long game drops. That looks really interesting. We've only got how many months till Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? About 4 or 5. And that's definitely, like, I'm very excited to play that. And I had a great time playing the previous one on the channel, so we're doing that. So we got to make the most of our time until then. Hey, Shingref. Thank you for the 12 months. Happy year as an associate anniversary to you too, I guess. So excited to see you play Rebirth. Hang on. Chat goes so fast. I just watched the first game series. Oh, nice. Boy, I should revisit that one before Part 2 comes out. What is EDF? EDF is Earth Defense Force. Specifically, Earth Defense Force 5, which in less than 15 minutes, we will be going and raiding Dan Jones over on his channel. And then he and I and Dan Emmons will start shooting many, many, many bugs. Maybe some robots, if there's time. Dan, have you played any Bethesda games on the channel? You want to say no, and I want to agree with you. I've not played any Bethesda games on the channel. There aren't really any short ones. And which, like, doesn't rule out playing Bethesda games on the channel per se, but I also don't know if there's a whole lot of them I'd be interested in doing as a playthrough, really. I don't know how interesting they'd be. Like, personally, I don't find the stories in Bethesda's games all that interesting, so, like, the story wouldn't be the hook. It'd really just be the play in the sandbox, which is something that can go for a long time, and unless you've got a good angle to go at it with, I don't know how interesting you could make it. I feel like they'd be great. That'd be a good stream game, right? It's one of those games that's better for streaming than for Let's Playing. More fun to play than to watch unless you get somebody who really knows how to play in a very entertaining way, right? It's not that we couldn't make it fun. I'm sure we could, but there's so many other games that seem like more obvious picks than I think most Bethesda things. Oh, Dan, what's a game you're playing or really want to that isn't going to be a stream or a Playframe series? And also, is Armored Core 6 going to be a side quest series at some point? In a weird way, I could see, like, Armored Core 6 Like, I could almost answer both questions at once. I don't know if Armored Core is going to be a good play frame game from what little I've played of it. Like, it's fun. I just don't know if it's, like, fun to watch. The first hour doesn't feel like it's a fun to watch kind of game. Certainly not in the same way that other FromSoft games are. Fun to play, yes. Fun to watch? I don't know.
Thanks, pal.
Oh, goodness. Super Jaws. Hang on. You just wait. First off, thanks for the 5 months, M. Rodney. And then, Super Jaws, thank you for the 12 months, 1 whole year, and then 5 gift subs on top of that, just to drive the point home. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. No, Night Vale, I've not checked out Liza P yet, but I will. It's on the list to investigate. I've got like 20 games just queued up, installed on Steam as that I need to like sit and it's probably more than 20 that I need to play through a little bit, like get in an hour or something, if nothing else, just to either see if it's a good candidate for play frame or see if the animation needs to be something I need to investigate further. Hey, thanks for the 12 months. Maybelline. Sea of Stars is technically a prequel to The Messenger. Oh yeah, I've heard that. Well, The Messenger is one of those games that I want to go back to and finish. And it's not super long. I could see it happening before the year's done. I feel like of the Metroidvanias, like the 5 Metroidvanias I tried out in that 1 week when we ended up going with Metroid Dread to as the one we chose to finish, I feel like The Messenger is the other one that I had the most fun with. They were all fun, but I feel like that one, some parts of that were really clicking. It's hard. It seems like a very silly, light, tongue-in-cheek setting. It's almost surprising to hear that it and Sea of Stars, a big sort of like JRPG style retro game, are in the same universe. But I didn't see very much of The Messenger, so I need to see more of that one anyway. Yeah, The Messenger's one I'd really love to get to before the year's done, if possible. We'll see. We'll see how many I can squeeze in. What's been my favorite type of weapon in EDF so far? I don't feel like I've gotten far enough into where you really get to the good stuff. Like, EDF gets nutty with the weapons once you get in a ways. At first, it's all just like, if you're the ranger, it's like, all right, here's your rocket launcher, here's your machine gun, go play. Here's a grenade you'll never use. And I know they got other classes, but they've all got like a very basic, like they've all kind of got their startup array of weaponry, and then once you get further in, things get wacky. That's what I'm waiting for. How excited am I for the EDF 6 port? I am excited. Like, I figured that was going to get, like, localized over here eventually. It was just weird that it took this long. But they are pretty budget games at the end of the day, so. Have I ever played Hunt Down from Coffee Stain? Fun mix of Demolition Man and Metal Slug. Hang on. I'm Googling that right now. Like, Hunt Down sounds familiar as a game title, but I think I'm mixing it up with a different game. I don't think I have seen this. It came out a few years ago. Let me see. Looks neat. But no, I've not dipped into this at all. Surprised I haven't even heard of it, given how much I've been trying to pay attention to everything coming out the last few years. Hunt Showdown, that's what I was thinking of. Thank you. That was nagging at me. I was like, what is it? That's making me think of some other game that is definitely not this. What did it make me think of? That was it. There's an expansion for Factorio coming out, so if you want to take another 2 years on a playthrough that me and 10 other people will watch, I'd highly recommend. Yeah, Factorio is fun and also too smart for me. Of all the people who could make Factorio fun, I am not in that very small group. Watching me play Factorio would be like watching me play Mini Metro and Motorways. It would be just sort of like the head in your hands, sort of like, I really wish I could go in there and do a better job than what he's doing. A one-off of Kerbal. I guess Kerbal Space Program did just get another sequel, or just got a first sequel, I guess, right? Could have a fun look at that. Also, hi, fan from the higher pitch days, but never luck into catching a stream. Oh, welcome! I do stream at weird, infrequent hours, so... A bit of a rare drop on this purple website, if we're putting it charitably. Have I played Subnautica before? I think I played like about 10 hours of Subnautica years ago, and enjoyed it immensely. I would totally do Subnautica on the channel someday. If I could make it... I could probably make it interesting, yeah. I guess it depends on how long the game is. I need to look up how long it takes on average to play. I could make it interesting for a while. Could I keep it interesting? That's the question. Have Starfield and Baldur's Gate 3 been discussed yet? Neither of those will happen on the channel. For Starfield's end, because I don't think I could keep that interesting either. I don't, like... I need to play more of it. I've only just put in, like, 40 minutes or so, which is nothing. But I don't think that one would hold up for being interesting. Baldur's Gate 3 would hold up for being interesting, but we'd never play another video game again on the channel. It would just be Baldur's Gate 3 forever. Baldur's Gate 3 is phenomenal and way, 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 way too big to ever be a playthrough. It's impossible. Would it dwarf Elden Ring? By a mile. Yes. Like, you can beat Baldur's Gate as fast as you could beat a playthrough of Elden Ring, for sure. But if you're just sort of like taking your time and working through it, and if you don't, like, you're just sort of exploring, you could, man, it's like a trilogy of itself bundled into one game. It's bonkers. Did I ever play 80 Days? You know, I never did. That's been one that, like, every time I think of it, I'm like, oh yeah, I should look at that sometime. And then I always forget. Are we talking about using zips for beating Elden Ring, or are we talking a casual playthrough? See, like, all right, so my playthrough of Elden Ring on the channel ended up at what, 144? 140? It was like in the 140 episodes, which is not short. That's the longest we've done if we don't... Now, I guess Final Fantasy XIV is probably the longest we've done by now, but very long. I think Baldur's Gate would push 200 easy. Well, sure, in any percent, Baldur's Gate is less than 10 minutes, but a lot of things are less than 10 minutes in any percent. We are talking about Baldur's Gate a bit. Sort of. We're talking around Baldur's Gate. Elden Ring was 141. Thank you for the confirmation. Hey, and thank you. I should probably... I should probably say some thanks here because we got to head over in a few minutes. First off, give me a username. Thank you for the 12 months. Double the Dans, double the Shedanigans, double the Dan and Dan videos this week. But then also, Dan, thanks for the 10 months. Many bugs can be killed and will be in mere minutes. Thank you for the 9 months, Alvius Führer. And thank you, Caligura, for the 7 months. I appreciate you all joining me. We're going to go raid Jones in a minute here. It's going to be a good old time. Thinking of chill games that'll work for your VO chops that aren't too long. Check out Road Warden and ask Dan Jones about it. He played it a while back. Yeah, Dan did say Road Warden was great. Although he did warn me about playing it on the channel and how exhausted my voice would be. That is also on my list of games that I'm like, okay, gotta check this out. Haven't had a chance yet. Could we see an Armored Core on the channel? It's pretty brief. Like, it's maybe... I need to play further into it to see if it'd be interesting to watch. It is fun to play, but I don't know if it'll be interesting to watch. I need to get further in to see for sure. And I think there's a bunch of other stuff I'd rather do for the time being, but eventually, quite possibly. But anyway, it's about time for some EDF. So what we're going to do, everyone, is we're going to raid on over to go hang out with Mr. Dan Jones, who's been streaming a lot of Pikmin today. So this is going to be a pretty hard left turn in terms of genre, vibe, and lots of other things. And a considerable increase in Dan's per stream also. Much is about to change. A mere 10 seconds from now. I look forward to seeing all of you over there in just a minute or two. The raid will commence in 5 seconds. Godspeed, everyone.